All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday morning, 8 a.m. over here. 11 a.m. by Gyiraszin. It's the morning everywhere, actually. Tambo, actually, 12:01 for Tambo, so I can't say it's the morning everywhere, but morning, afternoon, whatever it is, hope your Thursday is going well. We're talking baseball, day baseball, always a great time, money to be made. 5 games on FanDuel, 5 games on DraftKings. We've got golf going on. You can sweat out. Been looking at my teams. My golfer's doing pretty good. It's nice to see that. No one over par yet. So sweating out some golf, sweat out some MLB. Hope you guys having a great Thursday. Gyiraszin bringing you in here, man. Looking good today. Got the Tigers shirt on. Got Torkelson somewhere up there in the top left. We don't really have to worry about that today, though. What's going on, Gyiraszin?
Buddy, it was a fun night last night. Had a good time. If you were watching last night, no, I went to the local carny and had a good time. Ate some carny food. I woke up this morning with some Taco Bell lettuce on my chest in the chair. So it was a good night. Had a lot of fun. But, yeah, looking forward to hey, who doesn't like a midday afternoon baseball slate that you can, get the day job in, get some baseball in, get to check your phone, and, in-play runs is your favorite thing to hear today on your phone. So, absolutely, it's a good time here to be had. So, an interesting slate too, Title. I mean, we got some big-name pitchers in kind of some shitty spots. But, there's like one clear-cut offense to me. After that, it's going to be pretty much scrambled, in my opinion. But yeah, looking forward to breaking it down and see what we can come up with and get us some winners here so we can get us some fun coupons here for this weekend here before we start this. Hey, we're getting into the 4th of July. I mean, it's coming up. We got a week or two coming up. I mean, I can't believe how fast the summer's been blowing by. But, man, looking forward to another continue now. We're going to keep on tipping it.
I always feel like I tell myself that, man, summer's flying, all this, but football, 12 Sundays away, man. Anytime summer flies, you get sad that way, but then you're like, football's right around the corner. Yes. Yeah, Barry, there he is.
Lions season this year, boys and girls.
Yeah, not the Packers season. It is the Lions season.
Yeah,
indeed.
That's why I'm rubbing it in a little bit. Yeah, we haven't won the division since 1992 title.
Oh, trust me, my stepdad's a Lions fan, and I hear all about it every time. We've always have been pounding them for years and years, and now, yeah, we're going to hear about it this year, I think, as well. Before we say hi to a couple people in chat, Gyiraszin, last week, I think it was last Friday, you whipped out that wad of cash, you slammed it down, you said casino is later. Did the casino take that wad? Did you double that wad up? What was the result at the casino?
Well, I actually did go and enjoy the casino. I made a couple sports bets, some parlays. I hit one of them, which paid fairly decent. And I want to say I was about 800 down at the blackjack table, probably when it was all said and done. But there was a point I was up a couple K, down a couple K. I just got on a shitty run. And what happened was, Title, I got some donkey sit at the table that just wouldn't shut the hell up. Got on my nerves really bad and ruined the whole mojo. And after that, I was in a bad mood. And I've learned in my own doings, like when I'm in a bad mood or somebody pisses me off while I'm gambling, like I got to stop because it just gets worse after that. The mojo, when I'm having fun, I'm winning money. When I'm like, man, what this dude was hitting his cards like a donkey. And I'm thinking, then he's trying to tell everybody how to play. It's just like, oh man, this guy needs to, I kept my mouth shut. But, hey, still a good time. It's always fun to get out and, I don't go down to the casino often. I used to go quite a bit, Title, but DFS makes me happy. I can just sit at home in my own confines, drink my own beer. Don't got to worry about getting in any trouble. Can have safety meetings outside, watch all the sports I want. I don't need to worry about going down there. But, hey, the cats were away. The mice had to play. I went down to the casino and had some fun. But,
yeah. No, I'm right there with you too. I mean, I'd rather online poker over live poker for me. I do like if I play blackjack though, play craps. I would really go with people though. It's always a good time. But yeah, DFS, sitting in your own place, drinking beers, doing safety meetings, whatever it may be. Sign me up for the DFS streets over the casino. We're gonna say some hi to a couple people in chat before we go game by game. Again, only 5 games on this slate. I know a lot of you guys probably at work right now, maybe watching this on playback at 1.5x speed. So we'll break down the slate as always. It definitely will not take an hour. But if you guys have any questions, throw in the YouTube chat. And we got some time throughout the game or pitching or something comes up when we're talking about it, I'll bring up that question. We should have a little time today. Who do we got in chat today, though? Jay Steele's in here. Mike Carr. Hope everything's going well with you, man. Go Collect in here. Nympho, Randy, DFS player, Bump, Al's in here, Boss Bra, Jacob Stubbs in here, Warren in here as well, Adam, a couple new faces it looks like in here. We appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us and hope your Thursday is going well. We do appreciate if you do hit that like button for us. Helps us out a ton. And if you're not a member, I don't know what you're doing. Head over to SHIPITNation.com, $59 a month, $599 a year. Get projections for all the sports. Ownership projections will be coming for MMA and PGA as well, including the projections probably within this next month. We're working on that, back testing it, making sure that's all good. Projections for MLB, stack rankings for MLB, pitcher rankings for MLB, hitter rankings for MLB. Then you get Gyirasin's FanDuel, core plays, Hamwich FanDuel, core plays, Nades, DK, Hoops Slate Plan, Hoops DK, my cash stuff, all the content you need to be successful. And you also get the Discord as well if you join. So head over to Ship It Nation. Do not know what you are doing if you are not. But Gyirasin, let's dive in to pitching. 5 games. You talk more FanDuel. I'll talk more DK. But pitching's pitching. If you like a pitcher, I assume you'll like them on both sites. Let's start here. You probably have what? The FanDuel pricing pulled up, or do you have DK pricing pulled up too, Gyirasin?
I got FanDuel pricing pulled up, but I can roll with either, whatever way you want.
No,
there's only 10 pitchers today, so.
Yeah, we'll do. Let's go 8K and above on FanDuel. So that's Blake Snell at the top. Then it's Joe Ryan, Bryce Elder, Aaron Nola, JP Sears, Logan Allen. So that's the 6 pitchers right there that we'll discuss. And they're definitely going to get – I don't think it's a slate you really go down at pitching today. I think that, especially on FanDuel, one pitcher site, that is where the ownership will be concentrated. I'll talk a little DK after, but not a slate I see paying down is a viable option, really, especially on FanDuel. Talk 8K and above, though. Those 6 pitchers, Gyirasin, pretty good ones. What are you doing up top at pitching?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I for one, let's talk about Blake Snell for a minute. He's 10-8 on FanDuel. He's the highest priced pitcher. I mean, this guy, he definitely has slate winning upside, right? Like we know that he can get you there. But then again, he can blow up. I mean, he can just totally ruin it for you in a quick few minutes. But I mean, in reality, I think Snell is probably the pitcher that has the best upside today. I mean, I'm just not a fan of it. I mean, rostering Snell is uncomfortable, right? And to pay 10-8 for him, I think is kind of tough. But he definitely, for me, is probably the best overall pitching play today. But for 10-8, I'm not really sure I want to go there. Ryan, I mean, you get a Boston team that just doesn't strike out much. So that's kind of something that we've been kind of talking about recently. Certain teams just don't strike out. We just don't like attacking them. I get it. It's a smaller slate, but still, I think there's other spots. Nola, Nola's another guy like Snell, but I think Nola has a bigger potential for a blow up than Snell. Nola, I mean, he's given up 10 earned runs his last couple games here. He's given up a home run in 11 straight games, by the way. So I find that to be interesting. I don't see that stopping here today. So, I don't want to really, I'm not interested in Nola. I could see why. On FanDuel, he's 9,300. You get a $1,500 discount from Snell on Nola. So I don't mind that at all. I think the blow up potential is real as the, maybe him putting up a 45-50 spot. I mean, I could see him giving up 7-8 runs just as easy as he could do that. So Logan Allen and Sears are interesting in the same game. Oakland does have the lowest team total. Logan Allen does have a little bit of strikeouts in him. JP Sears, decent lefty. He's been in the low 30-point ranges his last few starts. Obviously a shitty bullpen behind him, doesn't have much win equity. So that's kind of tough. I think Logan Allen's probably my favorite play as far as point per dollar on FanDuel that I'd probably be interested in today, just because it helps me get some of the bets that I want. But I can't argue anybody telling me that Snell's the play. I think Snell is really the play, but for the price that I'm looking at, I mean, I can get Logan Allen for $2,100 cheaper or $2,400 cheaper than a Snell. And I'd rather use Snell at home too, by the way. I don't generally like to use Snell on the road. I prefer him at home. So just something to think about. And two, I see in the chat too, Boss Bruh. I mean, you're right. The Braves smoke Nola. I mean, go look at I don't normally look at BVP, but if I feel a pitcher's been around a long time, like a Verlander or a Max, and they've been in the same division like 4 or 5 years, I like to look at that kind of stuff. Man, Riley and Acuna's BVP numbers, and they're pretty healthy. So just something to think about. I couldn't do Nola. I'd scratch Nola out. Matter of fact, I like the Braves today. So Nola to me is somebody I'd probably stay off. But like I said, Snell number one if you can get there with your salary. But Logan Allen for me is the guy I'll probably plant my flag on, and I wouldn't mind JP Sears either.
Yeah, good breakdown. You're talking Nola right away that you like the Braves. You're not really interested in Nola. Well, on FanDuel and on DraftKings, Nola is definitely going to get some ownership. Like you said, 9.3K on FanDuel. I had him as it was going to be a cash core play for me yesterday. Thankfully, how that game went postponed, I was able to get up to Ohtani. FanDuel, I've tagged everyone in Discord. If you didn't know, FanDuel, the game's delayed before the start time, then gets postponed. They do open up the players where you can change them and swap. So you could go to Ohtani, you could go to Darvish. Yesterday, Ohtani absolutely shoved that way. But 9.3K, it's the price that stands out completely when you're getting a $1,500 discount from Blake Snell, getting a $1,200 discount from Joe Ryan. I do think Nola is the most popular on FanDuel. Logan Allen right there, though, 8.4K, I think gets some. And you go to DraftKings. I'll touch on DraftKings. Only 4 pitchers priced above 8K. I think the chalk will be Aaron Nola and Logan Allen. Aaron Nola is 10K. Logan Allen is 7.9K. Yeah, when we're talking about it, GPPs wise, I don't love paying down at pitcher. I don't think there's too many viable options, which would leave me with leave Aaron Nola in my pool if I'm playing 20 teams or more. But I think Joe Ryan's an interesting pivot at 11K. I think he gets forgotten up in this upper range a little bit. And again, he's going to be 15%, 20, something like that. It's only a 5-game slate with only so many pitching options, but Logan Allen could be 50%. Aaron Nola could be 45%, something like that. So 20% Joe Ryan, 25 even, is an ownership discount. I don't love picking on Boston. It's more the game theory that way. But yeah, Blake Snell would be my favorite. It's always nerve-wracking saying that because it's the ultimate GPV play. When he's chalk, I don't love playing him because, I mean, it's Blake Snell. The dude can be wild. He can kill himself. He can get negative easily. But he has that upside for sure. Of course, he will get some ownership, but I think Nola will be higher owned. I know Logan Allen will be higher owned. Snell, highest K prop on the slate, only one sitting at 6.5. Juice on the over. I don't love the extreme hitters umpire behind the dish, but man, pitching in San Fran, it'll be like 60 degrees where it's almost 90 in Minnesota. Better hitting weather. Besides Minnesota, I guess it's not the best hitting weather, but Giants, the worst hitting weather. I'll say Blake Snell. I'll chase the upside. Again, I don't absolutely love it. Bryce Elder, 9.7K. No thank you there. Again, Joe Ryan, I think, is interesting too. I would keep Nola in my play in my player pool just because the lack of pitching options, but I do prefer Snell right there. And then I go look at our pitcher rankings over here on SHIPIT Nation, and Joe Ryan right here, 4th on the list, and that's 2nd on the list when it does come to the main slate. So I gave him out 2 days ago. If you guys got 150 likes, top pitcher and top hitter in the rankings. I'm not going to do that today, but who was it? It was Cutter Crawford, who absolutely had a great game for 5.4K, and it was Big Jock Peterson who went deep late in that game as well. So the rankings absolutely been on fire over here at SHIPIT Nation. Makes me like Joe Ryan a little more than I initially did. Let's go down Gyiraszin, though. Again, below DraftKings, Logan Allen, 7.9K. You already touched on him on FanDuel, but definitely sign me up for Logan Allen. Point per dollar, he'd be my favorite over Blake Snell. But again, with the ownership, I like Snell a little more. JP Sears, you mentioned a little bit, 6.8K is on DraftKings. Any other guy, though, like Tommy Henry, 6'2", Alex Wood, 6'6". I don't think he has a long enough leash. I don't know, man. Down low pitching doesn't really seem too great to me. Logan Allen, Aaron Nola, Blake Snell, Joe Ryan. If you just had those four in your pool, I think you're doing fine. Elder, Sears, maybe. But what are you doing with the rest of these guys that pitcher?
Yeah, I really don't have too much interest. As you mentioned, Wood he's not going to see enough pitches for you to even get excited about. Henry's just a below average pitcher that doesn't really strike anybody out. So not really interested in that. I mean, we need some strikeouts today. I'm just not interested there. I mean, any of these other guys down there, I'm just not even thinking about going with. I mean, Irvin, no thanks. Garza, no thanks. I mean, I'm not even interested. I think for me, it's either Logan Allen, Sears, or go up to Snell. I think that's on FanDuel. I think that's your option. I mean, if you wanted to pivot Allen, I think Sears is a great pivot, but I think Snell probably will be I'm going to guess he'll be the highest owned pitcher. I think Nola could be second. He might even push Snell for number one just because of that discount price. But I think that's why I like the Braves today. I can get some leverage on the best hitting team in baseball against a chalky Aaron Nola, who I think stinks, especially when they got good BVP numbers. It just adds up for me. So that's probably where I'll be going. But, yeah, I mean, you got a small slate. And I get asked a lot, Title. I'm sure you get asked too. Can you play a hitter against your pitcher? Sure. On a slate like this, sure. You're fishing for a homer, a single home run, a solo shot. Even if the guy hits two solo shots against your pitcher and he still gets a quality start, who gives a shit? You got, you got points nobody else is going to have. So, yeah, I'm not afraid of that. I think this is about where I'd go. Maybe 5 games is probably the max. But hey, if it happens, sometimes you'll see optimizers. You'll be like, why is there a guy against my pitcher? It's just giving you the numbers. I wouldn't fault it. So don't be afraid to do that here today. Just a strategy thought. I'm not saying I'm going to do that today, but this is the kind of slate where it's just so honed in, right? Title. I think you got one main stack, which is probably going to be Arizona. You only got a few pitchers that are really viable. So you kind of got to figure out different ways maybe to think about getting a little different. And that's definitely one.
No, I like that. Yeah, on the normal slate, no way I'm playing any of my hitter against my pitchers, but it's only 5 games. The smaller the slate goes, the more you can do that. Ownership's going to be really concentrated at pitcher. So if you're fading, of course, if you're playing one of the guys, you can do it against yourself. But I think just say you're playing Logan Allen and let's go Joe Ryan. I would say, yeah, of course, you can play any one hitter against them. But I think playing a hitter against a Blake Snell, against an Aaron Nola, going that route more, totally you can play a hitter against your pitchers. No doubt. I would max 1, especially on this slate, because I think 4 pitchers are going to get all the ownership. I like mainly picking off a bat, maybe full stacking against one of the chalkier pitchers a little more than doing it against my own pitcher today. But like you said, definitely viable, especially today's day and age. I mean, pitchers aren't going out there throwing 7 scoreless anymore, 2 hitters, something like that. Like almost every pitcher is giving up a bomb here or there. Look at Ohtani yesterday. What did he put up? 58 on FanDuel, something like that. Still let up a solo shot. Was it Freddie Freeman? I don't know if Vargas got him or he got someone else. But people, even if you are absolutely shoving, you don't need no hitter. You don't need a shutout. You don't need any of that. Pitcher can throw 6 innings on this slate, give up 3 runs, 7 Ks, quality start, get the win. That's probably plenty to be on the optimal on a slate like this. So, yeah, I totally agree with you there. Wrapping up pitching. So, yeah, people are talking about Bryce Elder. Touch on him a little, Gyiraszin, because on DK, he's grading out pretty well in the rankings, but he's 9.9K or he's 9.9K on FanDuel. He is 9.7K on DK. Even though you guys don't love Nola as much, I'm getting up to Nola $300 more. I'd rather get up to Snell for $400 more. I'd rather get up to Joe Ryan for $1,300 more, or I'd rather take the $1,800 discount and get to Logan Allen. He's just priced in a range. He projects way worse. K-props worse than all those guys. Extreme hitters umpire behind the dish. Philly at home, got a good amount of lefties in that lineup. just a price play. It's too much for me. I don't love the upside as much. What is your thoughts on Bryce Elder? And then talk a little bit about Joe Ryan too, because for me, it's more game theory. Like people are saying good hitting weather. Boston, I don't love picking on Boston as well, but with the ownership, I do think he comes in probably fourth highest owned on DK because of that price tag. There are enough cheap bats. I think it's more of a game theory reason for me. Give me 19. Maybe Snell gets blown up, Nola, stuff like that. So touch on Elder, touch on little Joe Ryan, finish up pitching thoughts.
I mean, first thing when I hear Elder, I just think ground balls. He's got a pretty high ground ball rate. So I am not going to pay $10K for a guy at 68% ground ball rate. I'm just not interested there. He's only had like 2 games out of 14 starts. He's even had like 6 or 7 Ks. Just off the top of my head. So I don't believe that.
You want more upside.
Yeah, too. I just want some upside there. And then 2, you mentioned Ryan. I just don't like attacking Boston at all. Like they just don't strike out, and they've been hitting lately. So I think it's just one of them things where, you just look at DFS slates. I just start going and thinking about different things. And I think, how is everybody, where are the masses going? How can I beat that? Blah, blah, blah. So I don't have those 2 in my thought process at this point, just because Boston's hot and they don't strike out. I'm not going there. Now, if I had to bet money on the game and, and there was no stats involved, but that's not the game we're playing. I mean, Ryan's definitely a decent play here today against, the matchup that the Twins have. So, but yeah, I'm not, as far as DFS goes, I'm just not interested in either 2 of those guys. There's just better options.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. The Joe Ryan, like I said, I don't love pitching pitchers in really warm weather. I don't love attacking Boston. It's just more game theory. I think people will save the 1K for Snell or Nola, go down to a Logan Allen, go down to maybe even Sears, something like that more. So he could come in fit 20%, maybe even a little lower. Like if you told me it's 15%, sign me up. Like I would just take that leverage, that game theory aspect on a 5-game slate. But Jake said Allen or Sears, if you had to pick one, I'm taking Allen. I think Gyiraszin is also taking Allen. But hey, top 3 pitchers, Gyiraszin. Let's you'll go top 3 on FanDuel. I'll give top 3 on DK, and we'll wrap up pitching, get to game by game.
Top 3, Snell 1. I'm gonna go Allen 2 and Sears 3.
I'm gonna go Snell 1, Logan Allen 2. I'm gonna say Joe Ryan 3 with ownership on DK. But yeah, I definitely like Snell, Logan Allen more. Debated Sears, but Joe Ryan is 3 over here. We're gonna go game by game again. We do appreciate if you do hit that like button for us. 115 watching, 40 likes. Probably a lot of you guys at work trying to sneak it in the AirPod, cover it up that way. We do appreciate you guys listening to the show, though. Again, like button, then the big black subscribe button. If you haven't hit that, you'll hit it. It will turn gray. We do appreciate that as well. Helps us out a ton over here at SHIPIT Nation. Again, if you're not a member, do not know what you're doing, head over to SHIPITNation.com. $59 a month, $599 a year. All the projections, all the tools, core plays, slate plans, you name it, we got it over here, including a great Discord with a lot of knowledgeable members too. So SHIPITNation.com. Look forward to seeing you in the Discord. Gyiraszin, game by game, first game of the night, and it's one you absolutely love. Atlanta Braves, Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Elder, Aaron Nola on the mound. Nola's going to be chalked. The Braves get to Nola, guaranteed 9th inning at bat. Great hit. Obviously, the Braves, one of the better lineups in the game. 5-game slate. Not every day you don't see the Braves as the chalk of all chalk. So I'm with you. I like the Braves. As far as the Phillies, you mentioned it. I don't love picking on ground ball pitchers as much. No Phillies for me. Sign me up for the Braves. Talk about this game, Gyiraszin.
Yeah, I think the Braves are one of my favorite stacks here today. I can get a Brave, one of the best teams in baseball, that probably be on more winning lineups than any other team all season. I mean, they're good 1 through 9. They've been hitting. 7 of their last 10 games have gone over. So, to me, Nola's just in a bad spot here. Could Nola mow him down, throw a no-hitter? I mean, sure. But as I mentioned, he's given up 11 homers in 11 consecutive games. I don't see that stopping here today. I really like Atlanta, as you mentioned. Elder being more of a ground ball type pitcher. I'm not really interested. Maybe Schwarber, if you wanted to go there, maybe as a one-off, if that's something you want to do. I can't fault you there. But yeah, I just can't. I can't see myself with any Philly guys. But I think Atlanta on a slate like this, going against Nola, it's just tasty to me. I can get Atlanta probably on a discount on a 5-game slate more so than I should be able to. I think that's where I'd look. And real quick, title Eric here in the chat's asked me, where's my Modelo's? Well, I had a few last night, and as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I woke up with some Taco Bell lettuce on my lap from sitting in my chair. So I was a little bit fuzzy this morning, got up, did some work. I still work. I got a day job. I sell robotic equipment. So, hey, any of you maintenance guys out there at work, if you need some robotic help or anything else, I'm sure I can help you, hook you up with a SHIPIT Nation membership. You start buying stuff from me. But either way, title, I'll tell you, I think the Braves here are my favorite. That's where I'm going. So let's just pray the Braves fucking put up a 10 spot on them, because I think it's happening today.
No, I like it. Yeah, talking about the Modelo's. If Gyiraszin was still sipping Modelo, he had what, 15, 20 yesterday. When you wake up with some lettuce and leftover food, got to take a couple hours left. You got to let him cool off in that fridge. He'll be back at him later, I imagine. He's got other stuff he can do besides a little Modelo's to start this morning off. I'm with you, though, with the Braves. Guaranteed 9th inning at bats, one of the most popular pitchers on the other side, one of the best lineups, a 4 total too. It's not that bad when you're talking Braves against the chalk pitcher. So I wish it was a little better hitting weather. That's a big thing. It's only 65 in Philly, 75, 80. But hey, maybe the Braves would be more popular. Nola probably wouldn't be as popular if it was better hitting weather. But yeah, sign me up for these Braves too. They're expensive, of course, top half of the order, but Ozuna, 4K in the 4 hole. Travis d'Arnaud, 4.6, Rosario 3.7, Arcia 3.9, Michael Harris 4.2. There's enough cheap bats in that order too. 5-man stacking, you can still pay up at pitching. So sign me up for the Braves. No Phillies. You say no Phillies for you too?
Yeah, it's interesting, Todd. I just was checking while you were talking the betting trends on this game. This game actually started out Philly a plus 116 favorite. Now they're both at minus 110. So pretty much a pick'em game. Really? I'll take the Braves all day long in a pick'em game here against Aaron Nola. So I think that's pretty much interesting. Andrew's asking, how do you prioritize your stack on FanDuel? Not quite sure exactly what you mean by that, but
maybe he means like 4-4, 4-3-1.
Is generally what I like to do. So I read an article, and excuse me, I don't remember who wrote it. So sorry if you're watching this and you wrote it. I apologize, but I don't remember where I saw it. But somebody did a research on all the tournaments last year, and on FanDuel 4-3-1, like about 40-some% of the time, and like 4-4 was a little bit below that. And then 3-3, and I think it was 4-2 or something like that. So 4-3 was by far the winningest combination. And that's generally what I do. And most times, to be honest, a lot of times I do start with my one-off, and then I build around that with my 2 stacks. So, it just depends really where I'm looking. Like today, actually my favorite one-off is Byron Buxton today. So I think Buxton has a decent game, and he's really the only twin I really like. So I think Buxton's my favorite. He actually was the first guy I clicked in my lineup today.
Oh, yeah, I like that. I think that's what you were talking, Andrew Martinez, about how you stack it. 4-3-1, I will say on FanDuel, like Gyiraszin said, I think is the most profitable out there, because with how the pricing and everything is, you get your 4 stack, you get your 3 stack. But when it comes down to that last spot, 4-4 is definitely fine too, but sometimes you're just comparing 8-hitter that projects a lot worse. I don't know. 4-4 can be fine too, but with position eligibility, with how optimizer and stuff too, you give yourself a lot more flexibility, not forcing a 4-4 rule with the optimizer, comparing a 4-3-1, and you can still get a 4-4-2. Or if you hand build, go 4-3-1. Look at your last spot. Could you get a 4-4 stack that you like more than that one-off, something like that? But why I like 4-3-1 and plugging that in the opto is like second base. Maybe it's just absolutely awful. You get a great 4-3 stack you love, punt it off at 2K minimum on FanDuel, or a position you don't love, and it fits stuff that way. So DK, I like 5-3. I think 5-2-1 also good over there. But yeah, get a primary stack, secondary stack, one-offs are always fine too. Let's keep it rolling, Gyiraszin. Next game on the slate, Arizona Diamondbacks, Washington Nationals, Tommy Henry, Jake Irvin on the mound. 2 pitchers I don't think are very great. 65 degrees only in Washington, but yeah, Arizona will be probably the most popular stack on the slate. Like you said, Corbin Carroll, one of the most popular hitters. I don't know. I think if I get to this Diamondbacks team, I'd rather go to the bottom half of the order because I think they'll be much lower owned than the top half of the order. Hard to play chalk hitting on a 5-game slate, though, especially when you like more of the chalk pitching. So I guess naturally I don't love the D-backs as much. The Nationals, though, man, these guys are pesky. They're very cheap. 4.3 total isn't bad. I don't think Tommy Henry's too great. The more I'm talking about it, a 5-game slate, only so many options. Nats are going to probably crack my top 3. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, if I was going to game stack any game, I think this would be it. I really like Arizona. I think Arizona is by far the best team stack today. I do like them up and down the lineup. I mean, Irvin, I was looking at his stats title. I actually chuckled because I noticed that he strikes out lefties like at a 13% clip and he walks lefties at like a 14% clip. You just don't see that very often. A guy has a higher walk percentage and a strikeout percentage. So I did kind of chuckle at that. He's not as bad against righties. He does have some control issues, which is definitely concerning. And Corbin Carroll's just, I mean, this dude, MVP type caliber season here. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, they get Marte back. He's been hitting. I mean, this lineup, I mean, who would have said Arizona was going to be in the position they're going to be in at this point in the season? Nobody would have probably believed you. I mean, it's a nice story. If they can get some better pitching, I mean, you better watch out for this team. I mean, they definitely have some decent young core that they've been building around. But yeah, I like all these guys here. Walker's been hitting the ball really well. You can get Perdomo pretty cheap. Alec Thomas just came back. He's a pretty cheap bat, a lefty you can get as well. But Corbin Carroll, he's the top bat by far on the slate today, for me at least. So I definitely like all the Arizona stacks. And I'm kind of hoping if I can pull together a lineup with some Arizona and some Atlanta guys, I think that might be the way to go here today.
Yeah, no, I like Arizona, of course. Just like Corbin Carroll, I think he will be the most popular bat. You go to cash games, I'll give you a free one right here. Have him on both sites over here at SHIPIT Nation as a core. So he definitely will be popular. If you play the Arizona, just be cognizant how you play them. Whether you get a lower owned pitcher, Joe Ryan of sorts, or the Braves who are going to be a low owned stack, you pair them that way. You just don't go in here, jam Nola, jam the Diamondbacks, jam Logan Allen, jam, who else is it? The Twins have the highest total. Just don't jam all of the chalk. You got to be a little different elsewhere. I think the Nats will be pretty low owned, though. People don't love clicking on the Nats. And yeah, 4.3 or 4.3 total. They are pesky. They are very cheap. They let you get expensive stuff around it. A Braves Nats with some expensive pitching, I think you can definitely do worse than that. So yeah, interesting game, no doubt about it. My favorite bat. Who would my favorite be? Riley Adams has some good numbers looking at the lineup page over here.
Candelario don't look bad.
Candelario looks pretty good too. Lane Thomas at the top, Luis Garcia. I mean, yeah, a little wraparound stack I think would be my favorite way to approach these Nats. But yeah, man, Corbin Carroll's stats absolutely jump off the page when talking on the D-backs. We'll keep
20-point machine, man. That dude's 20 points every damn night.
Yeah, because if he gets a walk, it's a double because of stolen base. He has the pop to get it out. I mean, the dude, he's a 5-tool player, no doubt about that. Very fun to watch. And those MVP odds, I saw a tweet yesterday. I'm just like you. It was like plus 2,000 2 weeks ago, and now it's plus 450 or something like that. So he's making a run for sure. 3 games left on this slate. Again, we do appreciate if you hit that like button, hit that big black subscribe button for us. Helps us out a ton. If you want Gyirasz's core plays, if you want my cash stuff, hoop stuff, who's absolutely been on fire, his core plays, his slate plan, you have to head over to SHIPITNation.com. $59 a month, $599 a year. Get projections, get hitter rankings, stack rankings, pitcher rankings as well. Keep it rolling. Don't have much interest in this game myself. Oakland Athletics, Cleveland Guardians, JP Sears, Logan Allen on the mound. I don't know. I think we have interest in Logan Allen. I think JP Sears is a serviceable pitcher. I don't know. These Guardians, though, 4.3 total Gyiraszin. I like the Nats over the Guardians personally. I don't think Guardians will crack my top 3. What are you doing in this game?
Yeah, Indians for me, I just don't ever want to play them. They obviously don't have the pop. They don't have the power. Even on a small slate. I mean, Jose Ramirez probably like one of the only guys I'd really consider playing. But for me, I'm just not interested. JP Sears he's proved himself. so far to me. I mean, the guys look pretty good, hasn't getting blown up. So, obviously that bullpen sucks, but actually they've been a little bit better here recently. But both teams, I mean, if I was to go anyway, I think I would probably rather stack against Logan Allen, to be honest. He's shown some games that he hasn't looked very well. Might get a guy like Rooker, who I think would be, interesting if you wanted to look at something like that. But I don't know. I'm just not a fan of either one of these teams today. I think there's better spots. I like both pitchers in that game. So I just not a fan of any bats.
Yeah, I'm with you. 5-game slate, make it a 4-game when you come to bats. Let's get to the next game, Gyiraszin. Boston Red Sox, Minnesota Twins. Looks like it'll be more of a bullpen game for Boston. They got the opener, then they got a long reliever. It looks like, who even knows what these long relievers? Sean Manaea yesterday, I played him in Showdown. He was supposed to be the long reliever, and I don't even think he got in the game, or maybe he closed or something like that. I went to bed early. I saw he was up in the bullpen, then I went to bed late. But who even knows who's going to be a long reliever? You're not messing with Boston when it comes to pitching, though. Any interest in Boston bats for you? And then talk about these Twins, second highest total on the slate. Great hitting weather in Minnesota, as it has been the past couple of days, almost 90 degrees.
Yeah, I mean, this kid here for Boston hasn't looked all that great in AAA, but I mean, Buxton's looking good. I mean, any of these righties, I'd be looking at Buxton, Correa, Lewis. I think they're all in decent spots. I mean, it's a decent stack here today. It's just popping a lot of the optimizers. I don't mind it, as you mentioned. Great hitting weather. I really like Buxton. He's my favorite bat in this game. But if you're looking for some bats that maybe you want for Boston, I'd start with the lefties. Ryan's kind of splits favor the lefties. So I'd maybe look at like Devers, Casillas, somebody like that. But Yoshida, I'd look at the lefties if you wanted to go anywhere with Boston. But Minnesota, definitely interesting. I think they're going to be chalkier than I prefer them to be with my own liking where they're at. They are fairly cheap too. I mean, all of Minnesota is fairly cheap. I mean, you can get Buxton at $3K on FanDuel. I mean, and as I've said the last few times I've been on here, Minnesota goes as Buxton goes. And when Buxton's hitting, Minnesota's hitting and they're winning. When Buxton's not hitting, that whole team stalls. It's literally that guy's the whole heartbeat of that team. So I do expect Buxton to have a pretty decent game today. It's going to be a bullpen game. And I think one of the biggest mistakes people make, Title, and I think, we've both made it. I know we have, when you think, it's a bullpen game. But guess what, man? That's when you start seeing all these matchups. Now the game's in the manager's hand. He's playing matchups more so. And now you're kind of losing that edge a little bit. You get a shitty starter for 4, 5, 6 innings. Like you get a bullpen game, then you get chances for pinch hit. Now it becomes more of a strategical kind of game. So, yeah, it just don't always think because it's a bullpen game means it's going to be, shitty pitching all game. But unless it's like Oakland or even the Dodgers bullpen recently. But like I said, I'd rather go Minnesota. Buxton's my favorite play by far.
Yeah, I'm with you. There's the bullpen. I usually, like you said, I try and stay away more so games like that just because, like you said, matchups. If they want to, you see 3 lefties come up. Obviously, they're going to throw a lefty for that inning. Then you see 3 righties come up. You're going to get a new pitcher. And that's the next inning, stuff like that. Playing matchups, seeing different arms. I'd rather pick on what I believe to be a gas can early. They get to that starting pitcher. You won't see the good bullpen arms behind. But, Nadesify's in here saying he hates bullpen games too. Boss Bro, how is Boston's bullpen? Pulling it up right now. They looks like middle of the pack. This is all year, though. Probably last 30 days would be a better metric. Let's see if that metric's on here. No, just by years. Looks middle of the pack right now in 2023. But bullpen, I would go last 30 days is how I look at that. So wish I had a little better answer for you off the top of my head. But keeping it rolling, 135 watching, 61 likes. We do appreciate it if you do hit that like button. Hit that big red subscribe button for us. We got 1 game left, then we'll get you a low-owned pitcher, get you a dong of the day, and we will get on out of here. Gyiraszin, last game of the slate. We do not have these 2 lineups. It's 3:45 Eastern. The other game's 1:10 Eastern. Who knows? Probably maybe a little lower ownership in this game if the lineup still isn't out. Because I don't know. Maybe it will be out. But if it's not out, all 4 games lock within 5 minutes of each other. You're going to have a plan. So that's an interesting spot when we get these lineups. If we don't get it, I think ownership definitely takes a hit, and I'd have more interest in the game. So lineups not out, more interest for me. Lineups are out, not as much interest, but get these Padres against a lefty and Alex Wood. Leash won't be very long, but Machado, very cheap on FanDuel. Tatis, he'll be popular. This top half of the Padres order, of course, can get the job done. As far as the Giants, it's Blake Snell, man. I don't care who's on the other side. It could be the worst team in baseball. Blake Snell can kill himself more than the other team really kills him. 5 games slate, we've seen plenty. The Giants have been on the winner. It reminds me, like last month, I think it was, Lance Lynn was the chalk. The Giants put like 12 up on him on an early slate, 1% owned. Stack was on the winner there. I don't think it's the craziest thing against Blake Snell. I like Blake Snell, though, so it's no for me, but everyone knows how Blake Snell is. Boomer bust. That's a guy you like to stack against the GPPs, especially on a small game slate, getting leverage that way. So that's something you will be doing.
I will not be doing that, but the thought process is definitely on point. I mean, that's what we're looking for. I mean, that's kind of what I'm doing with Atlanta and Nola. I just like that spot a little bit better. I actually was just trying to think if I like the Padres more than I liked Minnesota today as a stack overall of the team. I think I do. I just like Sanchez. I think this whole lineup is good. All the righties, Sanchez, Tatis, Bogarts, Machado. I think all these guys are in a pretty good spot here today. And for the most part, we can generally predict what that lineup's going to be for San Diego. I think Tatis is right there with Corbin Carroll as one of the top bats on the slate. And as you mentioned, that lineup don't come out before these games lock here at 1 o'clock. That's going to be definitely interesting. But, I mean, obviously, you're going to want to make sure you leave one of them guys at utility, use that spot, especially on FanDuel. Make sure that's why you always make sure your latest guys in your utility. I know, it may not come into play, but that one time it does, man, it definitely can save you. So if that's where you got to make some adjustments, it just gives you more ability to do so instead of getting stuck with somebody you really don't want to. So, yeah, I think the San Diego stack is definitely in play. And as you said, Tito, I think I'd like it a little bit more if the lineups are not out, especially with these other games being so close to each other. So San Diego is definitely interesting for me as the afternoon moves on here and we get closer to lock. We got, a little hour and 20 minutes or so. So we'll see if that lineup comes out. I don't mind what you were saying about stacking against Snell. Snell's been pitching really well recently. But I think I'd prefer San Fran in a spot like this if the other side was a righty instead of a lefty, because I like the lefty bats a little bit more for San Francisco than I do the righty bats. So, Peterson's been hitting well. For me, if I was MMEing on a short slate like this, sure, you probably should have you some San Francisco stacks. It won't hurt you. But especially if you go overweight on Snell, I wouldn't mind you doing that a little bit. But for me, I'm not interested in any of them bats, but San Diego, man, that is definitely interesting, and especially all them righties.
Yeah, I'm not. If you're only playing a couple, I shouldn't say that, because if you're only playing a couple lineups in single entry, 3-entry max, like compared to the large field stuff, the Giants will be even lower owned in those tournaments. It's harder to click that button and do it. It's not something I'm going to be doing, but like you said, the thought process. Just Blake Snell. We've seen it for years and years now. The floor is very low. The ceiling is very high. That's the guy you like to pick on the GPPs, though. On a short slate where bats are already tough, the lowest owned team, game theory-wise, I think they will be under-owned for their chance to win. It's just how often do you win? You're going to be losing money 90+% of the time doing it. But when you win, how much do you win's the big thing. Yeah, you'll win all the money. If the Giants go off, you'll be one of the few that do have it. As far as the Padres, this lineup comes out before lock. Probably don't love it. They drop outside my top 3. This lineup isn't out when these 4 games lock. Definitely think the Padres make a lot of sense because people are going to be scared not having that lineup, having to wait around when we have all of the other ones. So awesome stuff, Gyiraszin. Fun 5-game slate. Let's wrap up. Let's go top 3 stacks today. Then we'll get lower owned pitcher, dong of the day, and get on out of here.
Arizona, number 1 stack for me. Number 2 stack, the Braves. Number 3 stack, I'll go Padres as of now because the lineup isn't out.
I'm gonna go Twins 1 because I like the Twins over Arizona. I like the weather. I'm always a big weather guy. 90 degrees in Minnesota. A lot of cheap option there. So I'm going to Twins 1. I'm gonna go Nats 2. I like these Nats against Tommy Henry today. Very cheap. And then I'm going to go Braves 3 with you. So Twins, Nats, Braves, lower owned pitcher. Man, it's so tough to do it on this slate. Like I'm going to go with Joe Ryan. And again, I really do not love it as much. And again, low own, he's not going to be less than 10% owned, but on the nature of this slate, Allen, Nola, Blake Snell, all of them will be higher owned. I'm not going to pick like Sears, I think would be fine too. But Joe Ryan, again, I don't love the hitting environment there, but good real life pitcher. Got to put some faith in game theory in the day with the ownership. I think he'll be a little under owned too. Don't love it though, Gyiraszin. Go to you. Who do you got at pitching?
Yeah, like I said, I'm going Snell. He's my guy, and then it'd be Logan Allen and JP Sears for me. Allen is the guy that I'd probably play on FanDuel. But if you wanted to pivot a little bit, Sears is definitely in play. I'd have them, 2A and 2B. I think they're right there. You get Sears at cheaper, better ownership for sure.
You might get him at like a third of the ownership, a fourth.
Yeah, for sure. But I think Allen's probably got a little bit more upside than Sears. So especially with the win equity, that's pretty much why I'd have Allen ahead of him. But that's pretty much all I do. I'm only sticking with 3 guys. I mean, if I can build a team, I can get up to Snell, great. But with the 2 stacks I like, I don't think Snell's going to be in play. So I'm going to need to pay down a little bit.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Too expensive, man. That guy's expensive.
Yeah, he is. Hey, when he gets you 30, though, you'll take that and you'll move on. Nades, Sears going to print is right there. Nades likes himself a little Sears. Let's go dong of the day, Gyiraszin. Before we do that, though, then we'll get on out of here. Like button, appreciate it. Subscribe button, we appreciate it. And again, if you do want Gyiraszin's FanDuel Core, Handwich's FanDuel Core, Hoop Slate Plan, his core, Nades' core, cast stuff, projections, stack rankings, hitter rankings, pitcher rankings. If you want to talk best ball, we got that in the Discord. Golf showdown, got MMA this weekend. Everything over here at SHIPIT Nation for a price you cannot beat. $59 a month, $599 a year. We look forward to seeing you in the Discord. Gyiraszin, we're talking dongs of the day. I'll go first. This guy's going to be real low owned. Going down to the bottom of the order for the Washington Nationals, Riley Adams. You fill out a gross catcher position. He's taking Tommy Henry deep today, man. Platoon advantage, got some pop when he's in the lineup, in the 7-hole, very low owned. Riley Adams, the dong of the day. Gyiraszin, give me a low owned dong of the day. Who do you got?
I'm going to go to my Atlanta stack, and I'm going to go with the guy that probably most people have been leaving off their Atlanta stacks, and that's Austin Riley. I think is going to hit a home run today for Atlanta, and I'm hoping that Nola's 40% owned on FanDuel. Please, that would be fabulous. But I think Riley gets it done today. I do like his numbers, history against Nola. I like the stack overall. And as I said, Nola's given up 11 home runs in 11 consecutive games. He's given up a homer. So I think Mr. Riley gets the job done. And I'm going to even be more bold, and I'm going to say first inning homer.
Wow, that is bold indeed, but it's the day of the Rileys. Riley Adams, Austin Riley. Riley. I absolutely love to see that. Again, we appreciate all of you guys hanging out with us. Riley, Cunha, Ozuna, all going deep. So Nades is on the Atlanta train as well. Like button, subscribing on the way out. We do appreciate that a ton. We'll be in Discord as always. It was a fun day. Hope everybody out there has a good rest of their day. Sweat some golf, sweat some early baseball. See some SHIPIT Nation logos up top. That's going to do it for us, though. It was a good time talking some ball with you, Gyiraszin. Hope you have a great day. Gyiraszin, I appreciate that. For Gyiraszin, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.